I'd love to give you a personal example of
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I have a chronic illness is lupus. And back in 2012, I had a blood clot, which was a complication of the lupus. I went into the hospital. They basically said, you keep clotting, you're going to have to stay on blood thinners for the rest of your life. But in the process, I saw my blood pressure. And I said, that's really high. It was like 138 over 90, something like that. And they said, oh, that's common for African Americans. And I was like, but that's not common for me. I hover somewhere around 103 over, maybe 60. And as a result of that, it was December before any doctor, so I was actually getting my blood pressure taken on a weekly basis because of the blood thinners, and I watched it creep up. It was December when it was 157 before they finally listened. Therefore, it took me 3 months additional in order to get a rheumatologist to look at me. By that time, I had stage 4 kidney disease. And it could have stopped had they listened to me in the beginning. Simultaneously, at this moment, and this is a real indication of like how racism works in terms of our health, because of the opioid epidemic, the clinic that I go to now will not prescribe me hydrocodone, which is the only thing that reduces my pain. So I'm in constant stress of pain at this moment because now that white men in particular are experiencing a health epidemic based on opioids, I, as a black woman, can't get them. So I'm
there's
being
no
denied.
path that you can
I'm
get.
being denied the pain medication now because, and of course, no disrespect, and I certainly want people that are drug addicted and addicted to these drugs to get help. But suddenly they are being withdrawn out of places, and so there is a resistance, even higher resistance, to giving people of color access to drugs that may be the only kind that actually are really supportive for them. And so
there's no way to
stress.
get any kind of waiver or anything like that from your doctor?
I mean, you could try.
Okay, and I assume you have.
I have tried, but I want to say, as an empowered black woman, and being in my body and advocating for myself throughout my health, I'm always aware of that like low-level tension of having to say, even when I'm prescribed them, it takes me 4 times as long to use them or 5 times as long to use them. So I'm actually making an excuse and having to say, hey, like in code language, I'm not an abuser. Just to get them, right? Just to ask for them feels like like I'm stigmatized in the fact of saying, I'm in a lot of pain, these things that you're giving me are not working. And so the stigma is a stressor in and of itself.